Good morning and welcome to this morning's vlog. We're going to be focusing this morning on the changes that come into force this April. So today's the 6th of April 2020. There's some key changes that come into force today and some that have come into force over the last 6 days. So today, the 6th, we'll be seeing changes to the Section 1 Statement of Terms. We'll be seeing changes to SSP and also the introduction of parental bereavement leave. So the Section 1 Statement of Terms, not a new concept, it's been around for a long time. However, from today, that Section 1 statement must be given to employees and now workers on the first day of employment. You haven't got those few weeks after they start to get your paperwork together. It needs to be done on day one. What I suggest is that you have a key statement that can be just up to 2 pages, sets out the absolute minimum that is required, and then you can follow up with your full contractual terms and the more detailed information later on, provided that statement that you give on day one meets the requirements of the legislation. If you need any assistance with that, just give us a call. We have a great precedent that we've been putting together over the last few weeks. In addition, that statement now needs to contain some further information than it has done previously. For example, you now need to include details of paid training, other additional paid leave, for example, paternity and maternity pay, as well as details of the hours that employees will be working and if they're going to vary, how they're going to vary, as well as the termination date of the contract. Now, it's always good to check over your contracts regularly. This is going to be a really good opportunity to make sure, 1, that they're still compliant, 2, if they need updating, and 3, if there are any niggles, that if there's anything that we can tighten up in those, and have a look at consulting with your workforce about any required changes. The rate of SSP has also changed from today. That goes up to £95.85p. Very relevant at the moment with lots of people across many workforces off on sick. Of course, if you have contractual sick pay, that still applies. However, the basic rate of SSP has now gone up. The new entitlement to bereavement leave also comes into force today. This is also being called Jack's Law, which will entitle certain people to up to 2 weeks paid leave in the event of a bereavement. Now, there are some conditions to this leave. The first entitlement is to parents and adults with parental responsibility of a child under the age of 18 who passes away. It will also apply to parents who suffer a stillbirth after 24 weeks. To be eligible, parents and carers must have been employed for a minimum of 26 weeks. To be eligible for the payment, the parents must have been earning at least the lower earnings limit, the LEL. Those payments will be £148.68 per week, or 90% of the parent's pay, whichever is the lower. Now, it's obviously a fantastic thing that this leave has come in. It's almost inconceivable that a parent who lost a child wouldn't be able to take paid leave in our modern working society. However, those payments are relatively low, and bearing in mind that the obligation to make payment is only for the lower of those 2 payments, it's still likely to place some families in financial difficulty in the unthinkable event that they lose a child. Other rate changes include statutory redundancy payments, so the amount that we use to calculate a week's pay has gone up. From today, that amount will be £538 a week to calculate the statutory redundancy payment. Good news for agency workers: from today, the Swedish derogation will be abolished and will no longer apply. If you believe you have previously fallen under the Swedish derogation, or if you operate the Swedish derogation and you're now not sure how this is going to affect you going forwards, please don't hesitate to get in touch. What this means is those who previously fell under the Swedish derogation, once they have worked somewhere for 12 weeks, they are entitled to equal pay compared to other staff. Thankfully, with the current coronavirus crisis, the government have made the decision to postpone the obligations under IR35. We've done lots of training on this previously. It's now been put off for 12 months, so we will pick that up later on in the year in another one of our vlogs. Thank you very much for listening this morning. I hope your week goes very well, and look out for more content as we post it this week. I will be posting links to our free employment rate guide, as well as the list to the Section 1 Statement of Terms and the changes that are in that statement now. However, as always, if you have any questions, if you have any queries, please don't hesitate to contact me on alyssa.thursfield@gamlins.co.uk, and thank you very much for listening.